because the important parts of the game don't start until you hit the end game. Everything before that is a bunch of BS, according to the players of World of Warcraft. The only, I mean, yeah, it might be fun, but the point of Warcraft is to get to the end and deal with that all-important in-game content. And this game had none of it. You got to remember, this game was when it was out, this game was World of Warcraft's primary competition. It just was. And of course, the Warcraft players would come over here and they'd be like, well, you don't have this, you don't have that, you don't have this other. And the people in the developers of City of Heroes were like, well, sorry, we're not Warcraft. Which is, completely understandable if they want to be different. But people kept complaining, and people kept complaining, and people kept complaining. And so they finally said, well, okay, here, what we'll do is we will introduce a way for you as the player of the game to create your own content, make your own stories. And they fully expected that that's what the players would do with this brand new resource. They would make stories. No. What these complainers did was basically they would make a single map mission filled with enemies that you could start, that you could go in, defeat everybody that was present. Oh, hello. There's our bad guy. Now, he's an Eidolon. He's going to be a bit tough. And he also has some debuffs. And a capture. Okay, so I'm effectively debuffed even though the mission's over. Anyway, and they would go in and they'd basically defeat everybody in the map except one person. And then they'd leave and come back in. And leaving and come back in would mean that all of the bad guys that they just fought were respawned. I think you can see where this is going. So they would do this. They would milk these single map self-created missions for experience. I have just one shot a Nemesis Warhawk boss at my level without incarnates. I'm astonished at the ending power of the scrap it provides. Yeah, whatever, you're bragging. They would farm these self-created maps for experience points, and they'd rush 50. There were people back in the day when this first came in, brand new players would show up. They've heard about this game, and they've heard that there's a way to go directly to max level. You exit the mission. So anyway, they did go directly to max level. And then they'd be like, okay, I'm level 50. Where's the in-game content? That's why we gave you the ability to create your own stories. In-game content. Well, I thought that was... I thought it was for, skipping the actual game and getting my guy to the end game where all the really good stuff is. It's like, no. The way it works in City of Heroes is the good stuff is what you do on the way to max level. Unlike in Warcraft, where all the good stuff is at max level, here it's actually important that you do the missions, experience the stories, and slowly build the max level. But nevertheless, there are still people who will get to the, they will get to max level and they will farm experience, and they'll be their 50, level 50 characters. And we had people, hold on a sec. Bill writes, Shauna called to let me know you were on your way. Thanks for agreeing to help out. More Super Aridine addicts are showing up at the hospital every day. They're in bad shape. From what I've gathered, the skulls are forcibly addicting people to the drug. Bill writes, a lot of those people lost everything in Galaxy City. They've turned to theft and less savory acts in order to pay for their next fix. Let me get a drink of water. Eventually, they either end up arrested here or in the morgue. It's so frustrating. You come here for information in order to solve this problem, not to listen to me go on about it. According to some of my recovering patients, the skulls have a drug den in Industrial Avenue. People go there to buy superidine. If you can hit the skulls on the streets hard enough, they just might spill the beans on who's running the show and exactly what that drug den is, where that drug den is located. So, I need to defeat 10 skulls. But first, I'm leveling up. So anyway, where was I? Oh yeah, so we had, back when they had first introduced the artisan entertainment system where you could build your own adventures, we actually had some people, they were like, hey, I just started this game yesterday and I'm a level 50. How does this character work? And it's like, had you played the game instead of rushed to the end game, you'd know this. Some of us were very, very resistant to help such people out. Anyway, we're going to get a new defense power. 1 defense power for every 3 attack powers. That's the way I generally work it. There's really nothing in the pool that I necessarily want. It's a thing. So for every 3 of these I pick, I get a new of these. I don't count resist physical damage because that's the default. That's why we're getting temporary invulnerability. We're going to finish it, and away I go. Okay, so this is my new defense power, temporary invulnerability. Just adds to my ability to resist damage. So now I need to go defeat 10 skulls. I know where the skulls are. What was her name? Missy Fit. Oh, okay, that's cool. A She-Hulk homage. Now, this is the problem. You see this guy? He's a skull. I can defeat him. No problem. Boom, he's done. And I can defeat her with the aid of these police officers, in fact. Okay, that's 2. Those were both kind of lower levels. These guys are lower levels too. But I can go down here. Ah, he's not a lower level. He is in fact a higher level. Well, he's the same level, but he's a lieutenant, which means he's more powerful, technically. Now, here we go. This guy's a higher level. This guy's a level 9. I'm only a level 8. But if you notice, they're hitting me, but they're not doing so much damage. It's because I've got some pretty good defensive powers going on. Okay. Alright, how many do I need? I need 4 more. I'm going to go ahead and do a rest action here. That'll recover my health pretty quickly. There you go. Okay, and I'm up. Let's go talk to this guy, this Gravedigger Slicer. He's a skull. Ah, missed. My super leaf is still active. That's... Let's turn off the super leaf. And I'm gonna get the bonus for combat accuracy. And let's go beat up this guy. Why do you heroes dress up so crazy, says the guy in the skull mask and the white suit. Okay, let's increase our damage. Okay, the cop is fighting these two, and he's doing pretty good against him, but they just killed a cop. Oh my gosh. Okay. Pay Toothbreaker Jones a visit. There we go. Whoops. Turn back on the Super Leap. There we go. Alright. Alrighty. But, you know, like I said, if somebody wants to play that way where they are you know, rushing to the end game, that's up to them. You know, they have the right. You know, you play the game that you want to play, and there's no real wrong way to play the game. But if you're on your second day of play and you've already got a level 50 character, and as a level 50 character you are asking how to play the game, then something's gone wrong. You know, you have the right to do that, and if you want to do that, you go right ahead and do that. But this guy's technically a villain, guys. You know, but at the same time, that's not how the game's supposed to be played. It really isn't. Okay, another door mission. Let's go in. It occurs to me that I haven't even looked to see if anybody's in my chat room. And doesn't look like it. I mean, there might be people here. Are there people here? Okay, so we do have a couple of people watching. Hello to those people watching. The thing is, and I don't want it to sound like I'm whining. Okay, crowd, you can leave. I don't want it to sound like I'm whining about, you know, how other people play the game, because that's just stupid. You know, it's like those guys who complain about the casuals in some of the combat games. It's like, you know, look, dude, I'm not in it for the money. You know, I don't actually make anything off of doing that. I just enjoy playing the game. But you have to admit it's kind of annoying when a person who's running around with a high-level character that should indicate they have some sort of experience with the game suddenly says, well, I don't know how to play the game. Well, how the heck did you get your high-level character? Oh, I cheated. You know, I mean, what are we supposed to say to that? There we go. I had an interesting comment on one of my City of Heroes streams. They're like, well, it's awful grindy. All you do is go around fighting things. And I'm like, didn't I watch you playing Resident Evil Village, where basically all you do is go around fighting things? He's like, well, that's different. How? Oh, well, there's a story. Well, there's stories. Right now I'm chasing down a drug lab run by one of the gangs. The drug lab is being run by a guy named Toothbreaker Jones, who's a member of the Skulls, a criminal gang. Alright, you get it too. Come on. But there are people, I will say this, there are people who, you know, it's like with the task forces, they'll be like, why are you bothering with the story? I just want to rack up the experience. And I'm like, dude, the story's the point of the game, and that's why I like playing. And all they want to do is get it over with as quickly as possible, and I actually want to experience the storyline. That's another thing that's annoying. And again, he's not technically wrong. If that's the way he wants to play, fine. The problem is, he expects me, and they almost always do, to play like he's playing. You know? You're not. I actually had somebody tell me that I'm not supposed to be interested in the story, because the story is secondary to beating up bad guys and racking up experience. The point of the game, he says, is beating up bad guys and racking up experience. Well, I think you can do both, you know? I mean, am I not beating up bad guys and racking up experience right now? But I'm also in the middle of a story. Ow. Oh, I see. They were in the room. I didn't see them the first time. How am I doing? I'm doing pretty good. Alright. That third attack is a devastator if it connects. Alright. Not sure when they introduced the female skulls. Once upon a time, it was all dudes. I mean, there were female bad guys, but you had to like advance in level before you found them. Most of the gangs were, you know, completely male. All right, now we're back to that center room, as you can see by the map. So we want to go this way. Now, coming out of Atlas Park, you could go into an area called the Hollows, and we will be doing some of that too. We got some villain dialogue. Let's see, Toothbreaker Jones. I don't give a damn if they don't have enough to pay. You sell Dine at the increased price till that shipment comes in. They'll pay one way or the other. Yeah, okay, and he was over there, so I'm gonna have to take this guy out first. There he is. Yeah, and he is basically a named version of that boss that I fought in the last... And he does a lot of debuffs. Which is why I'm suddenly missing a lot more. Until his debuff wears off, I'm fighting at a slight disadvantage. But of course, when I hit, I definitively hit. Alright, let's hit this glowy, just to say that we did. Getting a drink of water. In one of the drawers in the desk you find a cleaned out mayonnaise jar filled with broken human teeth. Looks like you found Toothbreaker Jones' trophy collection. Right.